Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 818, written by TheMarcoNation. The universe broke me and my girlfriend up. I just remembered the craziest thing that is just unexplainable. At the time, I had been with my girlfriend for about 2 years, and we lived together. One day, while doing laundry, she comes into the living room where I am and holds up a pair of women's underwear. I don't know why they call them a pair since it's only one, but I digress. Yes, a pair of underwear that were much larger than the ones she wears. For context, she's 5'1" and maybe 100 pounds. These were at least a large pair, and they were of the granny panty variety, whereas my girlfriend has thongs and boy shorts, and basically everything from pink or VS. She is pissed and says, "Whose panties are these?" I look up and I'm dumbfounded. I have no idea. I'm stunned. Now, this isn't an area that has older clothes or like out of storage. This is in this week's laundry basket. I spend the next 5 hours baffled and trying to explain that I have literally no idea how a pair of random panties are in our current laundry basket. I don't know if you've ever been accused of something you've never done, but as I am so adamantly defending myself, the more guilty I'm appearing, as I'm sure some people are currently thinking about me. I was not responsible for these panties, no way, no how. We had a huge fight, and I think that was the start of us eventually breaking up. I am telling you in no uncertain terms, these panties magically appeared, and to this day I still have no earthly idea how. And yes, I realize that even writing this, I sound guilty. Trust me, I was not. Case notes for file 818. The universe broke my girlfriend and I up. So one possible explanation for this is that she just had a friend over that was on the larger side, at least relative to her, and somehow one of her granny panties ended up in your ex's bin. Now, it's true that reverse disappearing object phenomena, or DOP, does happen. It's not as common. But objects go missing and they reappear, not always in the same place that they were in when they disappeared. Sometimes they'll reappear somewhere else. Maybe some girl lost a pair of her panties and they just ended up in your ex's bin, and maybe there is some point to that. Maybe some sort of a developer prank, or there's some reason why your ex and you shouldn't have been together. So like angels in the adjustment bureau, don't really like that idea, who knows. Case file number 819, written by Avengion 619. What if our consciousness can hop universes together? I'm married. My wife and I have 2 separate people try to ruin our relationship. Their names are Jasmine and Horatio, who goes by just H. We are very dark humor individuals and grief each other in a healthy comical way. So anything like jasmine tea, rice, scents, flowers, etc., my wife would supplement with the whore, rice, tea, flower, etc. There is an H Street a few exits from where we live, and we frequent buying food and going to the mall, which is the H Street Mall. We both poke fun at these occurrences as our own little inside jokes. Reference point. One particular joke is a grunge band, Local H, Bound for the Floor. It pops up fairly frequently on my phone's playlist when we are driving together, which is always a good laugh. One of the lyrics in the chorus is, "You just don't get it, you keep it copacetic." My wife has said, "Keep it copacetic," numerous times. We have listened to this song numerous times. I have a phenomenal memory, so good I say it is a gift and a curse quality, much like the titular character from the TV series Monk. Glitch. My wife was playing our game just moments ago, and we were alternating impromptu jokes. It was her 35th birthday yesterday. We had a blast this weekend. We are just celebrating a lazy month at home before we both go to work in the evening. I brought up the song. I played it for her, and she is looking at me with the blankest of stares. She claims she has never heard the song, and has never used the chorus line. I started recalling all of the instances we have had interactions, and she just cannot recall. Is she a different consciousness, or am I? Bonus. My wife has told me and our son, who is now 18, about breaking her arm as a kid. We both recall her saying she fell out of a tree she was climbing. It is now a joke because she says she's never fallen out of a tree and that is not how she broke it. We had repeated instances of this argument. A year or two back, she asked her son and daughters, and they all said she fell out of a tree and that is how she broke it. My mother-in-law confirms she never fell out of a tree, so why do my kids and I have a recollection that we were told the arm break was from a tree fall? Mind you, as I mentioned, I have a ridiculously great memory. My son not so much, but we arrived at the same point. There are too many instances of occurrences, and this is not a misinterpretation or memory issue. Something with myself or the people around me has changed or been changed from what I know. I had to put my headphones on and blast music. I told my wife I'm not upset with her because I was sounding upset after my explanation, but I'm just so confused. I told her I'm just freaking out now and need a minute. So here I am blasting music in my eardrums and venting out this post. Case notes for file 819. What if our consciousnesses can hop universes together? So there's this notion called walk-in, which is where your soul departs your own body and a different soul enters in, and it may not always be related to quantum immortality. In fact, this is unrelated because it's someone else's soul, not your own going into another copy of yourself in a different universe. The best analogy I can think to describe this is like you're playing a video game, you have your character in the game, you have your controller controlling him, and then you just pass the controller over to someone else. So the character is the same, but the person controlling it is different. And that might be the case. Maybe the memories are no longer the same because the person isn't the same anymore. Maybe an alternate version of herself though. That is possible. It is strange though, things don't quite add up here, because if you hopped universes, then why do your kids remember the same memory as you do? Your wife fell from the tree and broke her arm that way, but she's saying she didn't, and her mother as well is saying that. So there's two conflicting sets of memories, and if you just hopped universes, it would just be you that would be conflicted, not your kids as well, unless they hopped along with you, which I think does happen. Some event triggers death in multiple people at the same time. If they're all connected, they seem to move along in the universal highway in the same direction. Bonus file, written by IDFK 0987654321. My cat detected an entity. My apartment is kinda notorious for the spooks. You know, things moving, doors opening or closing, the usual. We also have a mimic that likes to pretend to be my kid or my little niece calling or crying for me. There was one day with a lot of mimicking that I ended up with a couple little scratches on my collarbone out of nowhere. I was just sitting at the dining room table. I digress. Things have been quiet. I mean, today I've seen some shadowy out of the corner of my eye kind of things, but nothing crazy. Tonight my cat comes tearing down the hallway, like speeding, and skids across the back of the couch. Now this is a big old lazy Maine Coon, so already his running was disconcerting. But as soon as he skidded across the back of the couch that I was facing, I felt this aggressive touch on my back, the entire length of my ribcage on my left side. Not like scratches, but like someone digging their fingers in and dragging them down. No one was in the room with me. In fact, I had to go hunt my cousin down because I was so freaked out. Now, over 2 hours later, it feels like the muscle in that part of my back is burning. It doesn't hurt exactly, it's just uncomfortable. Today, the energy in the apartment has felt super off. If you've ever had that derealized feeling, it's been like that, where something just feels off enough to make reality questionable, and I keep feeling the little curls at the base of my neck getting touched. My back muscle is still tense and burning nearly 24 hours later. Case notes for the bonus file. My cat detected an entity. I wonder how it is that cats, specifically cats, are able to peer through the veil that guards or shields different universes or dimensions. They seem to be uniquely attuned to that. You can go back into ancient Egypt, cultures from the past, they had this knowledge too. Cats have very strong senses, beyond what we could describe exactly. But even if their senses are very well attuned, I think the membrane between dimensions and universes as well must be very thin. There's not much separating us. It's very rigid, but with the right attunement in your mind, you can see it, and in some cases cross over.